boys and girls. Today we're going to do some skywriting. And when you do skywriting, you have to use your whole arm straight out. And we have to think about our lines. So here we can see the skyline, the plane line, the grass line, and the worm line. We can do them all that way. So I'm going to grab my cards. And we're going to do one at a time. Are you ready? You're going to put your arm straight out. The one that you would hold your pencil with, remember? Instead, it's 2 fingers. I'm going to come next to the computer. 2 fingers straight out. So, when we're thinking about the letter B, ready? I'm going to say, B is a skyline letter. And you will repeat it, right? B is a skyline letter. It begins on the skyline. Point to the skyline. Your arm should be out straight like mine. Pull down to the grass line. Trace up to the plane line and around. B, bat, ba. Ready? F is a skyline letter. It's a skyline letter. It begins on the skyline. It begins on the skyline. Point to the skyline. Arm should be straight out. Go down to the grass line. Down to the grass line. Cross on the plane line. Cross on the plane line. F, fun, F. I is a plane line letter. I is a plane line letter. It begins on the plane line. It begins on the plane line. Point to the plane line. Pull down to the grass line. Make a dot. I, itch, I. M is a plane line letter. It begins on the plane line. Point to the plane line. Pull down to the grass line. Trace up to the plane line and make a bump. Trace up to the plane line and make a bump. M, man, N is a plane line letter. N is a plane line letter. It begins on the plane line. Point to the plane line. Straight arm out. Pull down to the grass line. Trace up to the plane line and make a bump. Trace up to the plane line, make a bump. N, nut, Are you noticing that I'm leaving time for you to repeat? Make sure you do. It's an echo. Here we go. T is a skyline letter. It begins on the skyline. Point to the skyline. Pull down to the grass line. Cross on the plane line. T, top, T. Last one. U is a plane line letter. It begins on the plane line. Point to the plane line. Go down to the grass line. Curve and go up. Pull straight down to the grass line. U, up, up. Very good. Those are things we need to practice, and when you make those symbols with your arms, there is a direct connection to your brain. It will help you to remember those. I promise, but you got to do your part. You have to do it with me. Now, we have been talking a lot about how pumpkins grow. So today, in your science notebooks, you are going to be doing the life cycle of a pumpkin. And there's my paper. And that word I wrote right in the middle, I bet you've already read it. Here we go. Pump, in, kin, pumpkin. Pumpkin. Yes, we we are going to do the life cycle of the pumpkin. Now remember, we talked about some things that the pumpkin would need. Watching my time. I am going to put up here, just so we remember, that's right, they will always need the sun. I hope you can see that. I'm going to color it in a little because I want my diagram, my chart to be wonderful. So there's the sun. And now I do like to label my things, so I'm going to write it. Remember how we can tap? Sun. Ooh, are you saying S makes that sound? Ooh, That's right, it's the vowel U. N. We know that sound. And not n. I'm going to make my N. There we go. So it's always going to need sun, and it's always going to need some water. So over here, I'm going to make a little bit of water. I'm going to make water like rain. And I'm going to write the word water. That's my W. What? Oh, do you hear that in the middle? What? T-top, t. Here it is. Water. There we go. Sun and water. Now, over here I'm going to put the number 1 because this is the first step. I hope you're watching and not drawing because you're going to get to do this after. They also are going to always need the soil. And in the soil, they are planting a seed. So step 1 is the seed. Planting the seed. Now down here, step 2. Well, we still have the soil. We still have the seed, but something is changing. Okay. What's the next part that happens? Do you remember? Right, that things start to grow. The roots will grow down. We can't see that part. But what grows up is called a sprout. Oh, I know that's an S sound. Sprout. Oh, what's the last sound? Sprout. I hear that T, top, t. There. So we have seed is 1, sprout is 2. The third part that will happen, well, there's my mound of soil. There's my seed. And yes, there are bigger leaves now. So another part of the plant is forming. Do you remember what we called it? Yes, we did say that there would be a vine. And that's what I'm going to write. Vine. V-I-N. Vine. V. That's a new letter. V-I-N. N. Oh, we know that one. N, nut, N. And vine. So 1 was the seed, 2 is the sprout, 3 is the vine. What happened next? 4. Okay, let's see. We still have our soil. We still have that seed. We still have, oh, those beautiful plants and leaves on the vine. But now, something else has happened, right? Yes. Now, we're going to have a beautiful yellow flower. And they do kind of look like a star shape. Don't know if you can see that. So the next part is the flower. Have we heard that sound before? F fun f. Flower. I'm going to make my F. That's right. That's the flower. Flower. There's my flower. So seed, sprout, vine, flower, and finally, whoops, up here, finally, oops, it's going to still have, I gotta go quick now, the seed. It's going to still have the plant parts. I'm probably going to fill this in later because I am really running low on time, guys. But I'm going to put my pumpkin. All right? And you can finish yours too. But here I'm going to write the word pumpkin. So let's see. 1 was the seed. 2 was the sprout. 3 was the vine. 4 was the flower, and 5 was the pumpkin, and the pumpkin has seeds, so it starts again. That's the life cycle of the pumpkin. In your notebooks, copy the word pumpkin. Then, see if you can remember the steps. You don't have to label all of these words, boys and girls. I'd like you to write the number 1, and to draw the seed. 2, draw the sprout. 3, draw the vine. 4, the flower, and 5, the pumpkin. If you are really feeling ambitious, sure, you can write the words that go with that, or the words you hear. But I gotta go, because I'm running out of time. Good luck. Can't wait to see it.